Ready?
No.
Whenever you're set, you may go ahead.
Hello everyone, my name is Richard Harrison, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys an experience that I went through my senior year in high school that most high schoolers probably wouldn't go through. So right after the new year in 2013, early January, I began looking for a job because number one, football was over, I was kind of bored, and I needed to make some money before college. So I went around to the local restaurants, and I went into one of the restaurants called Murphy's. It was a Murphy's restaurant and pub. It was a nice little Irish bar and restaurant. I met with the owner, Kenny, who he knew me from football season, and he actually really liked me. And I told him how I was looking for a job and everything. He's like, all right, no problem. Come in Friday night. Come in Friday night around 11 o'clock and make sure you wear pants and boots. I was like, okay, I didn't really know what he wanted me to do, but I had a job. I wasn't complaining. So I went in Friday, and he hands me my staff shirt, and he says, Rich, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be staying inside throughout the night, making sure everything goes smoothly. Don't let anyone mess with the DJ. Don't let anyone let people in through the side doors. And if there happens to be a fight, make sure first you turn on the lights to make the other workers know that there was a fight and try your best to break it up. The number one thing he stressed, though, is don't let anything happen in his bar. On my very first night, not that I wasn't already nervous as it was, we had a huge fight between these two college kids. I saw it coming too, and I tried so hard to stop it, but it was already too late. I moved on, it happened, whatever. As each week went on, I really enjoyed working as a bouncer because each night, it was so unpredictable. Anything could happen, and I love that about the job. However, after about 3 to 4 weeks, I went in and Kenny was like, Richie, I want you working the door tonight. I was shocked. I was like, you want me working the door? He's like, yeah, just make sure you check IDs and make sure that they're legit and take the cover charge. Working the door was so much better than being inside, dealing with all the chaos and the hectic nonsense going on inside, and I really liked that about it. And what was crazy about working the door for me was that here I am, I'm only 17 years old, checking the IDs of people 4 to 5 years older than me and determining whether they get into the bar or not. She thought that was real funny. Overall, I really liked working at the bar because it was like an experience that most of you probably haven't gone through, and working at Murphy's as a bouncer was probably the most exciting and fun job I've had so far, and I can't wait to get back to work this summer. Thank you.
I emailed you and said I wasn't going to be here, but I'm here, so I had to come.
Oh,
So,
you're okay?
yeah. So, should I go next, or?
You may. You're welcome to. Yep.
You know my name is Jack Freeman.
Yep, got it, Jack. I'm all set. I'm ready for you. Thank you, Jack.
Okay, my name is Jack Freeman, and I'm going to be talking about net neutrality and why it's important to the freedom of the internet. So net neutrality is the principle that all ISPs, internet service providers like Verizon, AT&T, Time Warner, should provide the same kind of, they shouldn't discriminate between different kinds of data. They have to treat all data equally. So a few years ago, Time Warner Cable, it was revealed that Time Warner Cable was throttling the data of BitTorrent, users using BitTorrent. And even though BitTorrent a lot of the times used to download illegal things and uses a lot of bandwidth, people were upset at this because it does defy what net neutrality is. They were discriminating against BitTorrent and other, any other internet site. A lot of people believe that without net neutrality, the consumers don't get to pick what services and products succeed in the market, because the ISPs can manipulate because, for example, Verizon could create their own video site and throttle the data of users using Netflix, and then if the throttling is too bad, users won't have a good time on Netflix, and they'll seek alternatives, perhaps like this video site that Verizon wants to make, and then that would be Verizon determining what succeeds. Another real world example of this is AT&T. AT&T Mobile. they have this new sponsored data where a company can pay AT&T to sponsor their data so it doesn't count toward the monthly cap, someone's monthly cap. So if Netflix pays AT&T enough, all Netflix data that people use on their phones wouldn't count toward your monthly cap. So people would probably be more likely to go to Netflix than like YouTube, because YouTube would go through toward their monthly cap and they can't watch it as often. So that would mean that Netflix would be the winner because they just had more money to pay AT&T. I hope you guys know something about net neutrality and know why it's important to the freedom of the internet. Thank you.
Okay, Disa.
Hello, I'm Adisa, and I want you all to think about your favorite artist and why you love them so much. Today I'll be talking about my favorite artist, Ben Howard. Has anybody heard of him by chance? Perfect, okay. He's a indie folk singer from England, and he's kind of like the love child of Mumford & Sons and Bon Iver, if you heard of them. And why I love him so much is he draws inspiration from nature, and especially in his first album you can hear both in the context, he'll have references to birds, to the wind, the sun, pretty much just as you're walking in nature is kind of what his music embodies. And in his second album, The Berg Island, it's more inspiration from the ocean, and he's a surfer, so in like the ambiance in the music, there'll be moments of intensity, sort of as the waves are crashing, and there'll be moments of peace, sort of like the calm after the storm. And also the lyrics are very inspirational. There's a lot of themes, both on the surface level and underlying themes, and it's kind of allegories to the natural world, to modern society. There's also songs that are inspiring, songs about love, about hope, about pretty much anything that you relate to, which is I love so much. You can really relate to his lyrics and find your own personal interpretation of the lyrics. And also, his voice is very unique and kind of, it's very soothing, but very kind of, I don't know how to explain it, very rough in a sense. But it's very unique, and he's also very good looking, so that helps. And he does a really good cover of Carly Jepsen's Call Me Maybe. So if you're not into folk music or songs about nature, you can look up the cover and enjoy that. And I'm at 2 minutes, so listen to Ben Howard.
I wasn't saying stop. Okay, Jeanne?
Hi guys, my name is Jian. Before I start, by show of hands, how many of you guys have ever taken a bus from Syracuse to New York? Wow, a lot of you guys. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about how you could take the bus from here to New York at a cheaper price. There's two ways. The first way is Megabus. If you buy a ticket 2 months in advance, it will be around like $3 to $5. But you know, if you buy like last minute, it will cost like $35. So when you compare $35 to $3 to $5, you know, $3 to $5 is a lot cheaper. And the second way is through Greyhound. I'm pretty sure many of you guys have taken the Greyhound before. So before it goes to New York City, it goes to Binghamton, right? So before it goes to Binghamton, you should buy a ticket that goes to Binghamton, and it costs $20. And then if you buy a ticket that goes to New York City, it costs $40. So I suggest you buy a ticket to Binghamton because either way, it's going to go to New York City. So when you get to Binghamton, just stay there, and they don't check the ticket. That way, you know, it will just go to New York City next, and you save a lot. You save like $20. So it's a pretty good idea. I did it like 10 times, and it worked. So yeah, you guys should definitely try it, and you know, you save the money. You save a lot of money in the long run. Thank you.
Okay, Cody. Oh, not here tonight? Okay, Nancy?
Hi, my name is Nancy. Today, I'll be talking to you about my study abroad experience in Spain, particularly the Spanish nightlife. So, just a raise of hands, who wants to study abroad somewhere in Europe? Okay, good. So, a good number of people do. And that's great. Everyone should go and pursue that. Chances are you're probably not thinking about studying somewhere in Spain, but there are bigger chances that you'll probably end up there one of those weekends that you're traveling abroad. So, just a little fun fact before I delve into my topic. Spain actually has the highest number of bars out of any countries that are in the European Union. But of course, Spain is synonymous with fun, high spirits, and above all, a fantastic nightlife. The king of Spanish nightlife is Madrid, because Madrid is twice the size of any other Spanish city. In Spain, it houses a great variety of bars and clubs. Anything that you want can probably be found there, and anything that you're looking for is probably open till very late. Because everything is open till very late, the nightlife timetable in Spain can throw off even the most nocturnal Americans out on a loop. Spanish nightlife doesn't officially start until 1:30 a.m. and it doesn't end until 6 or 7 a.m. One of the reasons why it starts so late is because the metro system doesn't close until 1:30. So everyone travels out last minute and gets to where they need to be at least by 1:30. The second biggest reason people go out so late is because traditional Spanish dinners don't start until about 9:30 or 10:30. So by the time you're finished eating and you're done getting ready, it's already 12:31. People come home so late because the metro system doesn't open until 6 o'clock. Certainly that doesn't mean if you're tired, you can't go home, because you can. You could just take a cab home and you'll be there. But if you're a study abroad student in Spain, or you're just traveling there for a weekend, why wouldn't you want to be immersed in the cultural experience? I know I do. Now, you're probably wondering, how do people actually function? How do study abroad students actually study? And the answer to that would be midday siestas. Everyone takes siestas all throughout the day just to ensure that people can actually complete their tasks and still go out at night. Overall, Spanish people expect study abroad students and tourists to get accustomed to this norm, or simply miss all the fun. So I hope you guys don't miss all the fun, and if you guys do end up traveling to Spain, that you guys would stay out till 6. Thank you.
Okay, Jamie.
Sorry guys, mine is not as exciting or party hardy as that, but I'll try my best. So, ready? Okay, cool. So has anybody ever had the wonderful experience of wearing an eye patch, maybe like dressing up as a pirate or like having a, yeah? All right, there we go, cool. Well, I am lucky enough to have had this experience. My name is Jamie and I'm here to tell you my story. So as you can see, I wear glasses, but I also have contacts. So usually at nights or on weekends, I wear my contacts. And one night last semester, I was out for the night and forgot to take my contacts out and fell asleep with them in. Woke up the next morning, was a little bit discomforted, and decided to go to the bathroom and take them out. Without putting in any solution or drops to kind of help get them out. If you wear contacts, you know they kind of stick to your eyeballs if you don't put solution in. And in doing so, I took the one out of my right eye, and then when I went to take the contact out of my left eye, I actually was in immediate discomfort. All of a sudden, I started to have this really terrible stinging pain. I didn't know what was happening. Turns out, I went to the doctor, and I'd actually torn part of my cornea. It was a terrible, terrible experience, and to say the least, my life for the next 6 weeks was anything but fun. So I basically had to wear a night mask, a night sleeping mask. It was from JetBlue, and it said like sleep soundly or something on it, so that was pretty cool. But I had like all kinds of ointments and creams and things in my eye, and it's really not that cool to talk about. In addition, any kind of light was extremely uncomfortable and very, very sensitive to my eyes. So I often had to sit in the dark, doing my homework, listening to music, being kind of alone in my own little cave. Luckily, I had friends that were nice enough who wanted to come in and hang out with me while I sat in the dark during daylight hours, but what can you do? Eventually, though, I got to upgrade to my eye patch, which I actually brought with me. I literally had an eye patch. So yeah, that was pretty fun. We had lots of good times in my apartment. We made lots of jokes. I won a Minion at the state fair last semester, and we used to dress it up in the eye patch and take pictures of it, and that was pretty cool. So yeah, I even went to a family function wearing my eye patch, and for the photos and stuff, I had to have it on and then take it off and then take the picture and then put it back on, and it was a really, really annoying experience. Eventually though, my eye got better, and I would go out, but I would still have to not wear makeup on my eyes. Half my face would be makeup, the other half wouldn't be. Overall, it was a pretty crazy experience. And if you learn anything from my story, it's this: 2 things. 1, don't fall asleep with your contacts in, and if you fall asleep with them in, definitely be sure to use solution when removing them. Last but not least, always, if there's something like this does happen to you, be sure to have a little fun with it. Get an eye patch and make the best out of it. So thank you so much.
Oh, you think you're pretty sure you come next, huh?
Yep.
On my list?
For sure.
Okay, you're all set.
Sarah. Yeah. Oh.
You're all set.
So who watched the Super Bowl recently?
Almost everyone? Okay. So I'm a senior advertising major, so I generally watch it for the commercials. And this year my favorite ads were the Coke ad, the Radio Shack ad, and the Cheerios ad. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the basics of making a good advertisement. Most ads are pretty subjective, but there is a difference between a very good ad and a very bad ad. So there's two basic key steps to making an ad. First, you need a big idea, and a big idea connects to a human truth, and a human truth is something that resonates with a certain group of people. And my one ad professor calls this big idea a tsunami because it's powerful enough to fuel an entire ad campaign. The second key is that you have to tell a story and that this idea needs to be delivered in a creative way or no one will listen to it, even if it's a good idea. So after 3 years of ad classes and internships, I've learned a couple key, easy trick tactics when I'm under pressure to come up with a campaign. The first is show the effect, which is to make an advertisement where you see the cause of something. For example, you're advertising for Swiffer. So you show a clean room and you know that that's the effect of using the product, which is Swiffer. The next is to tweak a cliche, and this is taking an idiom and just making it more original. Over-exaggeration is when you over-exaggerate. It speaks for itself. So you're advertising fans, you show a fan, and it's so strong it can blow people away. Next is to tell a story visually, and it's when you don't really use messaging or words and you just show the effect. And lastly is 180 or opposite, which is you show what happens when you don't have the product. So of all of these tactics, the most important thing to take away is that when you're coming up with an idea, you have to write everything down so that you can get rid of the bad ideas and find the good ones. And second, you can't undermine the viewer because you have to let them fill in the blanks, and that's what makes watching ads fun for them. So I hope this gives you a better look into the behind the scenes of advertising, and thank you for listening.
Jojo?
Hi, my name is Jojo Messing. Alright, so one thing about me, I wouldn't really call it a fun fact, I kind of call it a strange fact, is that I have many, many, many fears of things that I don't really have a reason to be fearful of. For example, oranges, gum, peanut butter. Nothing ever happened to me with those three things, but I am terrified of them. One of my fears, however, is something that actually did happen to me, and this is a fear of scissors. So, one time in 7th grade, well, summer before 7th grade, I was moving my older brother into his freshman year dorm room of college. And I was sitting on the bed doing nothing, just watching my mom and my brother do everything. And my mom said to me, Jojo, why don't you help? I just rolled my eyes, was like, okay, what do you want me to do? She's pointed to the box over there and said, can you open that box? It has your brother's desk chair in it. I said, okay, whatever, how hard can that be? So I open the scissors, I take them out, I kneel down on the floor, and I open the scissors like that. And as I'm cutting down the box, my knees are facing upward, and one blade just goes straight into my leg. So, without even thinking, I yank the scissors out of my leg, scream on the top of my lungs. My mom and my brother are in the middle of moving the whole entire desk, and they just drop the entire desk when they hear my scream. People from the entire floor come running in with paper towels, Band-Aids, Neosporin. I kind of looked at it and laughed because I was like, none of that's going to help. I literally have an 1.5-inch gash in my leg right now. So before I knew it, 911 was there, and I was being carried down 4 flights of stairs on a stretcher. typical self, I was waving like a princess because I thought it was really funny. And I get in the ambulance. They asked me from 1 to 10 what the pain I was feeling, and I said a 7. They said, okay, typically any pain over a 5, and we have to give you an IV. I started freaking out, crying. I was like, no, I do not want an IV. So I just had a whole blade of a scissor in my leg, 1.5 inches deep, but I couldn't handle a little tiny needle in my arm. Basically, I was on crutches for the next week because I could put no pressure on my leg. And now I have a scar and a story to tell, and now I could freak out on all my friends or anyone that I see that's opening a box with scissors going towards them. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, one more in this group, Hal.
Hello, my name is Hal Olson, and I want to talk about what many people consider one of the greatest rock bands, Pink Floyd. Now, Pink Floyd was founded in 1965. It's an English progressive rock band that was founded by Nick Mason, Richard Wright, Syd Barrett, and Roger Waters. David Gilmour later came in 1967. Now, the band made a few albums before Syd Barrett left in 1968. He was the lead vocalist for the band, so this left a really big void for them to fill. So what they did is they had Roger Waters and David Gilmour to fill the void for vocals. So Pink Floyd came out with two really successful albums, Metal and Obscured by Clouds, in 1971 and 1972. Now these were really critically acclaimed albums, but they later came out with 3 of the greatest albums in rock history. The first one, The Dark Side of the Moon, came out in 1973. Not only did this have really great music in it, it created a lasting image in music history with the Prism, not it. And then in 1975, they came out with the album Wish You Were Here. Now this album was mainly a tribute to Syd Barrett, but this album also did have some really great music in it, and it's highly acclaimed by its fans. In 1977, they came out with the album Animals, and although this was highly acclaimed, it wasn't as highly acclaimed as the previous 2 albums. So they had the In the Flesh tour where Roger Waters actually spat on a fan when he was there, but he created his idea of The Wall, which was their third greatest album. And they came out in 1979. It was highly metaphorical, and it also was a movie in 1982. So they came out with the final cut in 1983, and then Roger Waters grew disinterested with the band. He left in 1985. So this left David Gilmour to take the lead role of Pink Floyd, and they came out with 2 more albums, and then they disbanded in 1995. So in conclusion, Pink Floyd is highly acclaimed by its fans and very influential in the rock world and the 1970s kids, I guess. And it's also a go-to for stoners everywhere. Thank you.